Now there is more confusion and more contradictions when it comes to the president's decision to fire the director of the FBI. President Trump giving a full personal explanation about the firing in an interview with NBC. Here's what he had to say.
I was going to fire regardless of recommendation. Look, he's a showboat. He's a grandstander. The FBI has been in turmoil. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. You take a look at the FBI a year ago. It was in virtual turmoil less than a year ago. It hasn't recovered from that.
All right, so everything you just heard there from the president has been at odds with what White House staffers have been saying. You see, Trump has contradicted his top aides and even the vice president. Up on Capitol Hill today, acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe shot down another of the White House's excuses for firing Comey.
Is it accurate that the rank and file no longer supported Director Comey?
No, sir, that is not accurate. Director Comey enjoyed broad support within the FBI and still does to this day.
So we're pleased to have Niall Sandage in with us tonight. He covers the White House as a columnist for The Hill. So Niall, you know, the White House reasons for Comey's firing, they keep changing.
That's right, and I think that's one of the reasons why there's this deepening air of crisis around this issue. The whole notion of whether President Trump acted in accordance with a recommendation or acted on his own impetus or momentum, that's just one of the ways in which this is altering.
Ultimately, does it matter?
I think it matters because the suspicion, of course, among critics is that President Trump has done this to frustrate the investigation into the Russian matter. Therefore, when there is confusion, people leap to a more negative conclusion than they otherwise might.
All right, so if I'm the communications staff in the White House, how do I make all this essentially go away? How do they pull it back together and get back on the tracks and start moving forward?
Well, one of the things is that they need an agreed version of events as to what actually happened. These things that we've just begun speaking about tonight are being discussed in all sorts of areas, and they give this story more legs, as we say, more momentum. The White House wants to contain this story, and the first step in doing that is to have an agreed, settled upon version of what actually happened.
Okay, so we just heard there as the president told Lester Holt that the FBI was in turmoil, but we also heard the acting head of the FBI say that's not the case. Who do we believe?
Well, it probably depends on where your political loyalties lie to start off with. I do think that the White House has created another storyline here. Sarah Sanders, a spokeswoman at the White House, has said that countless FBI agents had contacted her to express appreciation for the firing of Comey. I don't know how we verify that, and it's a strange claim to make.
Right. And Sean Spicer, MIA, where's he at?
Well, Sean Spicer is apparently on duty for the Naval Reserve, but his absence from the briefing room has incited more speculation about his future.
All right. And you've got a big column coming out tomorrow morning. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I have a column looking at President Trump's tendency to govern by impulse or by instinct. Clearly, that can work for him on occasions. It worked for him during the campaign, but it can also lead him into very difficult situations, as we're seeing right now.
Well, Niall, stick with us.